Take it away, Morris.
So we're off, are we?
We're off.
We're back. It's the summer. I'm in shorts. I'm talking to Chris, and we're making another fail video. This is the series of videos where we look at prototype ideas that Introversion decided were not good enough to be made into full games. So Chris and I have a little look. We have a little conversation. We post a video on YouTube where you're watching this. And then you get involved by writing in the comments why I'm wrong and we should have made this game and we would have been gazillionaires. We'd be having space battles with Bezos if only Mark had kept his big mouth shut and listened to Chris. That's the message that I tend to receive.
I like the way that's how you're slowly internalising the feedback towards these games.
Yeah, that's right.
There's some sort of warring faction, you know.
That's right. That's your plan.
You're the victim here, really, aren't you? That's what we're being honest.
Yeah, I am. You enlisted an army, Chris Delay's army of vocalites.
That's right, and they're coming for you, mate. They're fucking coming for you.
Coming for me. That's right. And so the other thing that you could do to join Chris Delay's fail army is download the games, all of the prototypes that we've been looking at by going to introversion.co.uk/prototypes. And we ask you to give a donation of $5 United States or more. And all of the money that we get, we give to War Child, which is an excellent charity that makes the lives of children around the world who've been affected by war better. So not only do you get to play some cool unreleased stuff, you also get to help out. So what could be better than that? Nothing.
You may remember Wrongwire, and we have actually looked at Wrongwire previously, a long time ago, because it was a while ago when we were making it. It was back in the Scanner days.
That's right.
But the reason why I'm including it is because it's from the same era as all these other failed games that we've been looking at. It's another prototype that we made during the same period that kind of was very promising, but ultimately we didn't follow through with. And I think it's worth another look for us to talk about it in those terms, because the last time we looked at it, we were talking about it in terms of it maybe being our next game.
Yeah. I mean, this was interesting because Wrongwire was one of two candidate games to follow on from Prison Architect. Am I right?
That's right. Yeah.
The other being Scanner.
Yeah. We did. We did a sort of rapid prototyping month, so we kind of made both. We made a Scanner. We made the first level of Scanner Somber, and we made a little 3-level demo of Wrongwire, and then we kind of held a poll, I think, to see which.
We took it to EGX, didn't we?
Yeah,
we took it to EGX in London, and we let people play in a tobacco dock and vote for what they liked.
Yeah,
and
I think Wrongwire won.
Did it? I thought Scanner won.
I can't remember. I think Scanner won at EGX, and then Wrongwire won online, because we had a similar poll on Twitter, I think. And Wrongwire seemed to do better in that world. And then we just decided we were going to do Scanner anyway. I think to be honest, I think the plan was that we were going to do Wrongwire after Scanner.
Yeah.
But you know what they say about plans.
Yeah, indeed. And also, if I remember correctly, I think this was our first play with Unity, wasn't it? This was the first time that we skipped away.
Scanner, then when they were both Unity games.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we were definitely learning the tool set, and we were learning Unity's very different way of development to how we do things. It was new for both games, you know. Well, I think Scanner still has the look of like mostly an Introversion game. Like it doesn't really look like a Unity game because it's this very abstract, rainbow-coloured look. But with Wrongwire, we sort of leaned into the Unity graphics. I mean, it's essentially a game where the graphical style is just realism, you know?
Yeah.
Everything's meant to look like what it really looks like. So it's a very different way to use Unity. All right, let's fire it up. Here we go. Here we are in Wrongwire.
Yes.
And here we have our first Wrongwire level. So you know what I was saying earlier about this doesn't really have a stylized look.
No.
It's a kind of, you know, how it would look if you were really there. We've often talked about the Unity look, haven't we? Like it's a bit of a trap. It's a kind of, because like, we don't really make games with real graphics, None of our games have had realistic graphics. We've always gone for a stylized look. And Unity is kind of built to give you more of like a real look, more of a realistic look. And it's funny how that makes such a difference, like culturally speaking, it's something that we're not that well set up for.
I mean, when we first started back in 2000, because we're old men,
Jesus.
this was like our sort of core value, wasn't it? That we felt as if the big studios were able to churn out high fidelity, high definition graphical experiences at the expense of
the game,
kind of that ethereal concept of gameplay. Yeah, exactly. Whatever
which
you're
I
going to
think
call
was
that.
a very valid criticism of video games in 2001. Because there was a huge amount of effort going into the graphics, but the worlds of these games were often very static, and there was no system simulation going on. It was just like a thing that you could look at.
That's right. That's right. And I suppose the corollary in movies was just that similar kind of ramp over the last 20 years that I feel as if we're sort of at the end of now, which was just, here's more spaceships on the screen, here's bigger explosions. We won't worry about plot or character or story. We'll because that's the hard part. What we're going to do is just chuck a few more pixels, a few more polygons at it. And leave it there.
I think that's probably why we favoured Scansomber, or certainly one of the reasons.
Yes, I think so.
Scansomber still had an abstract presentation, and we've always been a fan of abstract presentation, but we've always tried to use that to create a certain feeling. Like DEF CON's abstract presentation of the global nuclear war is really designed to make you feel like you're in that nuclear bunker. Looking at this abstract map. And Scanner's LiDAR scanner technology is a technology that exists, but really we were using it to create a very sort of spooky, malevolent kind of feeling in the player, like you're in a cave that's kind of evil, and so
definitely
we're sort of in this weird middle ground, aren't we, when we're looking at a game, because obviously we don't have any 3D artists in our company either. That's one of the things that we've never had, and so all the art in this game is kind of stuff that you can find on the internet, it's like internet art.
I mean, Uplink was the same, right? It was you were seeing what the hacker would see, because the game takes place in cyberspace, so that's what we're going to give you. We're not going to give you
your hacker terminal. You're actually operating your hacker terminal.
Yeah, and what Unity's done is it's made it easy for anybody with a small degree of knowledge to create an environment in which to set a game.
Yeah.
So the playing field has been completely leveled.
Absolutely.
Which is a good thing. It's a really good thing, because if you can think about how to tell innovative and engaging stories or gameplay when everyone's on the same footing, then that's what's going to push the games forward, right?
Yeah. And it has worked as well. I mean, there's no doubt there's been like a mad revolution in indie video games. And there's all kinds of really great stuff coming out now, a lot of which is made in Unity, and a lot of which, even from indie companies, quite small indie companies, has very lovely full 3D graphics. I mean, good examples would be like Kerbal Space Program or Dyson Sphere or whatever. Those games, those are Unity games that have pushed the engine to its limits and have still got like a real depth of simulation, the stuff that we love, behind the scenes. They're not a static world, they're a complex, rich simulation-driven world. And Unity's made it possible for even for non-programmers to throw together games and do very minimal programming to get stuff working. It's kind of nuts because, I mean, like all the way back when we started out, there was nothing. There was nothing around. You just had to work in native C++, and you couldn't even. Native C++ doesn't even give you the ability to load a JPEG. You don't even have. It doesn't even give you a font rendering system. It's like it gives you nothing at all. You have to build everything from scratch. It's like a completely different mindset. I think it's one of the reasons why I've often found it quite difficult to work in Unity, because it gives you everything, but my brain is wired for that other way of doing things. My brain is wired from doing it all from first principles. And Unity kind of wants to be this enormous toolkit that gives you everything you could ever need, and you have to use its facilities.
And the other thing that I think is true about you is that you don't want the tools to limit your vision of what that game is going to be. So if say the font renderer was using up too many cycles or something, and we needed to squeeze everything out to simulate an extra couple of entities, you'd rewrite the font renderer. That was the
it's kind of an architectural difference as well. Like Unity, everything in this scene exists as an object in a scene graph, and they've all got there's loads of this is an object and this is an object, and then this is made up of loads of objects that are arranged in a giant hierarchy. And those objects are all covered in little scripts all over the place. Like hierarchy, it's like this. It's like a really different way of building a world. It makes a lot of sense to make a 3D world that way. And the way I have always done things, like in Prison Architect, is much more like a giant database of all the data that's in the world. All the entities that are in the world, all the things that are going on in the entities' heads. Like in Prison Architect, it's a good example. There's all this data associated with every prisoner. And then completely separate from that, there's like a whole rendering system that just walks through that database and presents it on screen. And it's kind of architecturally completely different way of thinking. But it goes deeper than that because it's just the whole way my brain works when I'm thinking about how to design stuff.
Yeah.
We should probably try and defuse this bomb, shouldn't we? Since it's
well, I think it's too late. I mean, you mentioned defusing a bomb. I mean, what could Wrongwire possibly be about?
Yeah, well, it's a good
name
for a game, isn't it? Yeah,
it's a good name. Yeah.
I mean, this is your starter bomb, right? So we're in a practice room here. You have to figure out how to defuse this very simple bomb. I mean, there are instructions here, and there are some tools, right? So we've got a drill and some wire cutters. You can try and cut the wires to these sticks of dynamite, but the bomb just explodes immediately if you try and do that.
Don't cut the wrong wire.
Yeah, don't cut the wrong wire. So we can pick up the drill and take this front panel off. Right? This is the sort of thing that Unity gives you trivially, right? Just throw away physics, where those screws pop out and just roll off the edge of the table. And then we're left with a little classic movie style. I love my movie references, a movie style. Do you cut the red wire? Do you cut the green wire? Type scenario.
Lethal Weapon 3, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
Probably was my favourite. Is that the one? Is
where they come running out at the end and the building comes down?
Yeah,
all the cops are stood round going like, "Well done," giving them like a round of applause.
Yeah, and is that the same movie when he's on the toilet?
It might be.
It's definitely Lethal Weapon when he's on the toilet.
That's
and
right.
They got.
That's right, yeah. And he has to defuse the bomb. They just sat on this toilet and they just start having a really deep heart-to-heart, don't they, while they're looking at it?
Yeah.
All right, locate detonator circuit with 4 coloured wires. Identify precise type of detonator and cut the power wire. Okay, so we'll need the wire cutters. So here's 3 different types of detonators. All right, which one do you think it is? Type A, B, or C?
I think it looks like B.
It does look like B, doesn't it? So it says cut the power wire, which is green. So we can go
green. Yeah,
click.
cut
There you go. And then we've successfully diffused that bomb. Whew.
Wiping the sweat from my brow.
Easy. Let's try the next level. All right, this one's a little bit more advanced. I forgot how the sounds are nice in this. So we've got a bomb now with a keypad. Right, so this is obviously a number.
Nope.
I forgot how passive aggressive I was when I did some of the programming for this. So you can try different numbers and none of them work. We've got a panel again that we can try and drill and have a look inside. There we go. Right. Oh, okay. So now, as soon as we opened the box, the timer started. Right?
The clock is ticking.
You can see, like in a classic Introversion way, I actually started to try and make this. This bomb is it's not a hard-coded device. These connections and this little pressure button here that popped open under physics is the thing that activated the timer circuit. And there's a logic behind this, and the logic is actually running inside this little chip that's powering that. This looks a lot like a sound card. Yeah, so you can press buttons and nothing works. We've got this new tool called an EEPROM reader. Right?
Okay.
This is you can see it's highlighting the chip, so it's got a little chip attacher. And we can glue that on there, and now we're seeing the internal memory of that chip, right? But it still doesn't seem to be any particular help until we try and type in a code, right? And you can see.
Ooh, try 1588, mate.
Oh, you're smart, aren't you?
Try that.
1588. There you go. Nice.
Boom.
And there you go. There's the hints for how it works. Still really a tutorial level, but
it
gets across how some of this stuff's going to work. All right. Let's have a look at a real level. Here we go. So now we're on some kind of underground
Die
train.
Hard.
Yeah.
3.
We've got
Die Hard 3.
We've got a dude on the floor who looks pretty expired to me.
Yeah.
Looks fairly neutralized. And we've got a suitcase. And we've got nice music playing. I forgot that we actually did full sound and video for this. Got Alistair making sounds and music. So we can open this thing up. Right. And this looks a little bit more advanced. It's kind of cool, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, it is cool.
Type
It is
numbers
cool.
only, give invalid thumb scan, cut wrong wire, panic and die.
Yeah.
I think
Because
we
I
had
like
this idea that there would be some sort of malevolent person behind these bombs.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
Die Hard 3, remember that? When there's Simon,
or the Joker.
Simon Says. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, just anarchy.
You know. We'd have that. Yeah, that antagonist.
Yeah, I think the other thing worth mentioning is that this game works very well in VR as well. This was really early days of getting the Steam VR stuff up and running, and we had versions of this game where you could just inspect everything really up close. Just by moving your head. It felt very natural, and you could pick up the tools as well and wield them in VR. It's just like a really lovely VR game. All right, any ideas what we should do here then? We've got a thumb scanner down here.
No, let's not do that. Let's take off that diffusion instructions panel, I reckon.
All right, yeah, okay.
That looks like, let's take it apart. I reckon we can do that.
Pretty brave just to pop the panel off.
Nah, pop it off, mate. It'd be fine. There we go. See?
Ah, there you go. All right, so now we've found the timer. Here's that the timer's activated.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know what that is. What on earth is that thing? That's an old school telephone.
Yeah, what is that?
Do you have to dial an operator with that thing?
Mystical electronic device. But underneath it, I've seen a detonator like that before in the tutorial.
Yeah. Should we open this panel maybe?
Oh, is that a glass panel? Yeah, get it open. Oh, there's a pressure switch. No, don't.
There is a
cut the blue
switch.
wire.
And there's even a sign there that says "Do not open." Cut the blue wire. Okay, that's an interesting idea. We could try that.
Yeah, let's try that.
Oh, that didn't
cut the blue wire. Oh,
that's so brilliant.
you dick.
You wouldn't last very long, would you? I mean, when it explodes, the things that highlight give you a strong hint about what happened, and the strong hint here is that the explosives went off in your face.
Right.
But you could tell the detonators are activated from circuitry within this box. So that little sensor wire is running down here into some circuit inside this box that we can't open. All right, let's try that again.
Let's have another go.
That'll teach you to be all excitable with your wire cutters.
Yeah. Right. Can we slide a credit card under and stop that thing tricking? That pressure sensor.
We don't have a credit card.
Oh, okay.
That's actually a really good idea. I mean, you're saying you could physically slide something under here and keep
Yeah.
down.
That's the approach.
That's real sweat under the brow type stuff, isn't it? At that point.
Yeah.
So,
that's how you got to do. How you got to do
you
that.
You need some chewing gum, don't you?
That's right. Yeah.
Stick it
it's
down.
part of the bomb defusal kit.
Yeah, chewing gum to press down on the button.
Right. Okay then. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do instead?
I think we've got to get this box open, haven't we? But this thumb scanner is obviously not accepting our thumbprint.
How are we going to? Can we take the box out?
No, the box doesn't move.
Okay. Are there any screws on the box?
No.
Search that body. Use his thumb.
Use his thumb? What kind of sadist are you?
I don't know. Just
how are we going to get his thumb?
Well, use the. Have you got any wire cutters?
Yeah, we've got wire cutters.
Well, they'll probably work on a human thumb, won't they?
Are you honestly saying you want me to cut his thumb off with wire cutters?
Yeah.
Oh, it worked.
I remember it's all coming back to me.
Yeah, there we go.
How sick
There's
you
his
really
thumb.
are.
So you can tell.
That doesn't look like a thumb.
Well, that's
it
my
looks like a
placeholder
red
artwork
pill from the
thumb,
Matrix, right?
All right, so we've got the guy's thumb. What should we do
Right.
now? Should we press it on the thumb
Yeah.
reader?
Yeah.
All right.
Press it on the thumbprint.
There we go. That sounded good.
Nice.
There we go. We've managed to open the
there we
account.
go. All right. Right.
Let's
EEPROM reader. I can do this one.
Okay. All right.
No
EEPROM
dramas.
reader. On this?
Hang on. There's one at the top. Yeah. No. Don't worry about that one. Oh, what does this all mean?
What does this mean?
Ma'am, that's me.
Some sort of initials and then numbers.
Why aren't you in there? I don't know. Okay.
Look at the other one if you like.
Yeah, look at the other one.
There you go. There's the other one. See, look. See, now we're seeing the internal. So this is the thumb scanner device, right? There's a thumb scanner here on the exterior, and then on the interior, this is the circuitry that runs the thumb scanner. In fact, it's even labelled thumb scanner, just in case you're really dumb.
Does it tell us whose thumb? What? Put the thumb back on it. Let's see what happens.
Put the thumb back on it. That's a good idea. All right, so.
Jack, it's Johnny. It's rotten smell. It's Johnny. Right, we know that from the other one. Go on.
All right. So what, take the EEPROM reader off?
Yeah, put the EEPROM reader back on the other EEPROM.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, nice. Jack. 1628. Plummet in, mate.
Nice.
Plummet in.
Nice.
Tea and medals.
Be home in time for tea and medals. 1628. 1628. There you go. Nice.
Yes.
Hey, you remembered
Nice.
well. You remembered all that, didn't you? I mean, that took you ages to work out first time we did it. Oh, we're still not done. It hasn't diffused yet.
No, we got to get you got to get your detonator
All right.
book out.
Here we go.
Your detonator book.
The power wire. All right.
Which one have we got? C, mate. C. Power. Blue.
There you go. And the bomb is diffused.
We're
All
safe.
right. And now we can say, oh shit, who the hell put that in? Jesus.
Because this was the EGX build, right?
Yeah, it is. This one's made for public use, isn't it? There's a harder version of this level that's got extra steps involved. I think I can do. There we go. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, so interesting. So, I mean, it's quite. It's interesting. Like, I think that these puzzles, they're good fun to play, aren't they?
They are good fun to
But
play.
they're kind of months of work, you know.
Like, yeah.
This is like the content creation is another of those areas, you know, that it's always really puzzled me how other indie studios make so much content sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
Because this is the first real level, the others are just test levels. And I remember setting all this up in Unity and setting up the hierarchy of everything so that when the lid moves, the parts move with it, you know, and having everything interactable and then writing all the scripts to monitor how it's working, you know. It was a lot of work, you know. And then it's kind of one-shot content as well, isn't it?
That's right. Often I find when I'm working on game design with you, there's this. You have this tendency of wanting to simulate a world, and then the maze, if you like, and then the player, has to navigate themselves through that maze.
Yeah.
And your natural instinct, I think, is for the just the natural complexity of that environment and the tool set to produce its own problems, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Rather than the carefully curated escape room designer.
Yeah. Which is what this is. This is an escape room type game. And,
exactly.
And the puzzles only really work when they've been thought about and designed. Because you probably could randomly generate devices, but they would be boring. They would always be the same thing, but mixed up. They need to be, and they also need to have, like, we were starting to get to context, weren't we? Like this idea, of like a train bomb or something. This is all, it's like social context, isn't it, of when this might be happening? Because if they were just puzzles in a white room, it wouldn't be the same somehow,
That's exactly it. And all of those things, I was really excited about this this game. I thought, especially within a VR context, it just makes so much sense. And to my knowledge, I don't think anyone's done one. There's Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, but that's a very different.
That would be the obvious one. That one's gameplay is very much a team social game, isn't it? Like once one of you's got nobody has all the information, so one player has the device, but no information, and the other player has a manual with all the information but can't see the device.
Yes,
and so
that's
you have
right.
and the VR helmet actually helps because it blindfolds one of the players.
Yeah.
And so you have this interaction of like, which wire is it, and that's their gameplay, that's their core game.
Yeah.
And they can reuse their elements as a result of that. They can have the same device with the puzzles all mixed up, and it still works as a game, because although you've seen that type of puzzle before, you still need to have your other player be on side quick enough to help you defuse it.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you recognise this room? It's a little bit like, remember Mega Processor?
Oh, yes.
Whichever one it was,
yeah.
the third fail Masterclass. It's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same room, isn't it?
Yeah.
This game is
exactly
this game is actually a little bit related to Mega Processor, I think.
Yeah, you can see that definitely.
They're both sort of electronics nerd games, aren't they? Even though this is a bomb defusal game, it's really a kind of electronics puzzle game.
And that's the clever, that's one of also the great things that you do. The computer game left me cold, but this, wrapped within the context, is suddenly a lot more interesting. Even though the nuts and bolts of it are that, that computer. That computer.
Yeah, it's the same idea. It's like the components are simulated at a pin connection level. So
that's right.
Components are operating a very simple logic model when there are voltages and stuff and EEPROM signals, and then the player can mess with all of that with the various tools that we give them. But in this game, it's designed as a specially made puzzle. In Mega Processor, it is more of a free-form electronics design kit with like some long-term objective.
And I kind of feel like, that's the wrong use of effort in a game like this. The right use of effort. And this was something that worried me, because I wanted to see, and I often do, when with some of the games, the puzzle element of these worlds, these simulated worlds, I just want to see the puzzles all designed, so that I know that there are, I want to know how many there are going to be. How many levels are there going to be in this game? Is it going to be 10 or is it going to be 50? And
that's the weird thing. I mean, that's the thing. We could have done this game. It's obviously within our reach. We've made 4 levels.
Yeah.
It takes longer to play when it's your first time, but it is a one-shot game like Scanner.
Yeah.
We could have made a game with 20 levels and shipped it. That was within our reach. It's interesting to me why we didn't.
Well, because I think there's part of that we don't find that to be particularly interesting. It's like, we know we could set up the pipelines, right? We know that we could hire a writer to give us a great story, like Die Hard 3, a reason why you're in this world, I mean, you could even do like some kind of, nowadays you could do some funky what's it called, Nolan's latest time backwards thing, I forgot what it's called, with the protagonist.
Tenet, you mean?
Yeah, Tenet. Yeah, that's a shit name. We could do something, along those lines. Someone's destroying the world, and you've got to move backwards and forwards. All of that stuff. But ultimately, what it comes down to is somebody who's good at designing puzzles, somebody that's good at modeling assets. Al doing his magic to put the audio in, and a writer. It's almost a project that we want someone else to do, because and then we can kind of play.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is.
I think,
because there's not, you couldn't go back over the previous underground level and add in another level of simulation that did like radiological emissions or something, or temperature simulation, because it's already a pre-canned puzzle. And so
that's right.
there aren't layers of simulation. There are pieces. It's like we're modelling pieces, and then we're making puzzles out of those pieces. And the art and sound and production demands are a little bit out of whack with the amount of game that you can get out of it, I guess.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. It's just, what we chose to do was make Scanner, which I was much more interested in making, because that was a game, and oh dear, we had some like challenging conversations about what was going on in Scanner. And I'm actually quite happy with how its story played out. But we wanted to make a a horror game, or I did, that was going to make you feel contained, afraid.
Horror game.
Exactly. Alone, compressed. It was much more.
It's like
there was an emotional effect.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, this is like a flat emotional game, isn't it? Like this is a straight puzzle game.
Yeah,
we would have had to lean on the story to give us some sort of context. And Scanner was much more about like pushing a player's buttons, about being, I don't know, alone in a cave. I don't know. Yeah, there was definitely. I don't remember it being a particularly hard decision. I remember thinking Scanner was the obvious choice, actually, and I think I'd kind of already decided before we even went to Rezzed. But I did think that we would do this after, because what ultimately happened is we ended up not doing this after, and we ended up going on to Order of Magnitude instead.
Well, I think what happened with Scanner is at the time it had flopped, right? We'd lost a lot of money on Scanner. I think we might be coming close to making it back now.
Yeah.
But and part of our hypothesis with that was the rise of YouTubers playing through a game meant that we thought that single play experiences of the kind of scope and size and length that we were able to put out are not necessarily what people wanted to play. The expectations, certainly at the price point, and it wasn't expensive, Scanner. I think it was $10 or something. But at that price point, it was just.
Well, yeah, we had some big YouTubers play it, but they played it all. They sat down for 2 hours and played the whole game, and then said, "Well, that was nice." And then all their viewers have now experienced the whole game indirectly.
That's right.
And don't need to play it again.
We didn't want to be in that same place with Wrongwire. You're because the puzzles are the same. If you watch your favorite YouTuber playing the puzzle, that's it. The puzzle has been unlocked. It's all it's done, and it's game over.
There are games released that are exactly that though, and they are just an authored content experience, a few hours in length, and some of them do very well. I guess it's just one of those things where, well, yes, they do, but actually an awful lot don't do well. An awful lot sink without trace, don't they?
Yeah, and to the ones that do well, there's often that teaspoon of magic that just gets dropped in somehow that you can't really plan for. And content-driven puzzle games are not really Introversion's kind of core skill. They're not the thing that we are best at, which I think is some sort of system-driven, system-driven experience.
Yeah, I agree.
But anyway, you want me to solve this big World War II?
Well, I actually can't remember how to do it either. I think I can remember roughly how to do it. It's an atom bomb, so you better be careful. It's like a little bomb. It's like a, what's it called? It's an atom bomb, so try not to get it wrong because there's a city nearby.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Well, have a look. Can you have a look all the way around? Because there might be another access panel or something.
Good thinking. Yeah.
Just have a little look all the way around. Can you? No. Can't see it. Yeah.
That's where we're focused.
Anything underneath?
There's nothing underneath.
Nothing at the back or anything.
No.
Well, I don't have much of a choice then. What have I got?
You've got the usual tools, and you've got this thing that you've seen before. This is the serial inspector, and you've got this new tool, which is an EEPROM tool, which might be related to how you solve it.
Okay. Can I put an ultrasound on it to see what's inside?
No, don't have an ultrasound.
No. Don't have an ultrasound. All right. Well, I best you better whip open that panel.
Whip open the panel.
Yeah. I mean, that can't be connected to the plutonium, can it? That would just be ridiculous.
Well, it's just a detonator. It's just an activator, isn't it?
Nice. Right. Whack on your reader then. Let's have a little read of the old chip.
There we go. So now we can. So now we're looking at the interior of that chip. So this tool, the EEPROM tool, is the same as the EEPROM reader that we had a couple of levels ago to read the state of a chip, but it has edit controls, right? So we can edit the contents, the memory of this chip, should we wish.
Okay. Well, let's change. Oh. Go on. I've lost it. I can't see what's in the chip now.
Oh yeah, sorry. There you go. So we recognise these little 3-letter digits again as IDs, don't we? As these are
that's right.
Our initials.
And then I reckon those things underneath are going to be. Is there a fingerprint scanner on the front of it?
Yeah. You press it and it makes an error sound.
Go on, press it.
Yeah, I'm pressing it. Nothing's happening.
Right, nothing's happening though. All right, change MAM to 0x00000000.
00000.
Yeah, 000. And now press the. Now lock that in. Lock that in.
It's locked in.
Yep.
Yeah, it's done.
Right, now press it again.
Pressing it.
There's nothing happening.
No, didn't work. You got the right idea.
Right, what else? What else is going on? How do I tell the? Can I? How do I? I wanted to see the output of that. Of the fingerprint scanner. Does that serial reader?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we can attach this to here then. Right,
yeah.
And now we can see. Well, now we're reading the data coming out of the fingerprint scanner.
Yeah. Let's have a look. So, smash the fingerprint scanner.
There you go.
Now key that bad boy into your EEPROM. Under 936623. 936623. 936623. 96223. It's like trying to type in your secret code. Looks good to me. Right, burn. Right, go on. Give it a smash. Smash it then. Did it work?
Oh yeah, that sounds good. There you go.
Yeah. Nice. We have the Genesis device.
Yeah, it's a bit like that, isn't it? All right. Let's get rid of that and this. Come here, you. Good. All right. So now we've got the internal core now.
Okay.
The detonator.
What have we got in there? We've got some buttons to press. What have we got? Any chips on that? We've got vacuums.
Yeah, vacuum tubes.
Is there a chip on there? It looks like there's a chip on there.
There's no chip on there that we can attach to.
Jesus. What fiendish mind developed this?
Okay. That one makes a noise. That one lights the light. Any ideas?
What are the other? What's?
You're not getting the audio cues there, but it gives you really strong feedback of positive and negative when you press the buttons.
Oh,
it's just a combination puzzle. You just got to press them in the right order.
All right, fine.
This is the one. This is the section where VR works the absolute best.
Yeah, right? Okay, yeah.
Because it's just the same. It's the same diffusal puzzle once again, right? With the wire cutters, but now there are these laser emitters inside, right? So when you're playing it in VR and you've got your wire cutters, you need to have a really steady hand, you know?
Yeah.
Because you physically have to move the wire cutters in without touching any of the lasers, and that just works so well. And you can see there's like a separate circuit board here that's controlling all the laser emitters, you know, that you could try and disable if you wanted to. But this is the area where I thought like that VR would be like the absolute perfect setup. Yeah,
it's definitely. Well, I remember you saying like, you know, imagine you're lying on the floor underneath it, poking your hand.
Yeah, so one of them is underneath. Yeah, I wanted players to get down on the floor, you know, lie on their back and look up at the that lower detonator, you know, and then cut the wires. All right, well, it's easy now then.
Yeah.
Let's go for this one, and that's
B. Cut the green one, mate.
Green. This one.
That is a C. Blue one, mate. Blue one. Blue. Nice. Are there more?
There's one
on
more.
The other side. Fly around underneath. Here we go. Well, this is probably going to be an A, I would imagine.
That's an A. Yeah.
Red. Red. A red one. Red.
There you go. That's
nice.
Woo. There you go. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
It is cool, yeah. It is cool, definitely.
I quite like this sort of thing. I like the sort of hierarchical puzzles, and they remind me a lot of The Room. If you ever played that on your iPad, well, I think it's on PC now as well. The Room is essentially like an escape room.
Yeah.
You're often dealing with like a puzzle box. It's not a bomb, but it's a box with a series of buttons that you have to press in the right order and switches and levers to pull.
Yeah.
And you just play with it. It's very tactile. You know, you fiddle with it until you figure out the right combination.
Yeah, I mean, there's all the broken sword stuff as well, isn't there? That was very popular.
Yeah.
Did very well, which is similar. Um, that Charles Cecil put together.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, nice.
So for all of you that skipped the last puzzle because you wanted to play it, welcome back. That's it from us. We'd love to see what you think about this game, so please pop it in the comments. Head over to introversion.co.uk/prototypes. Like and subscribe because, we need you to. And we will be back in about a month with the next one.
Woohoo!
Cheerio, bye.